All right, y'all. We're coming back. The Clinical Cookout will be back on January 6th. We're coming back to you with some new content. We can't wait till y'all see what we got in store. In the meantime, if you have some suggestions, go ahead and send them to us. And if you want to be on the show, go ahead and let us know. In the meantime, enjoy our Flashback Fridays, y'all.
So for today's hot sauce, we discovered, or I saw, a question pop up, and I thought it'd be great to ask the aunties what they think. So the question was, rather have a man, and I'm going to add, or a woman, who's a felon, or has a baby daddy or a baby mom. What do y'all think?
Is neither a choice?
I mean, it's still a choice. So I guess
I'm taking the neither option.
Okay. Let's back this up. Yes, we would all, in an ideal world, take neither, right? However, if you had a choice, if that was the only choice, was to choose either having a baby mom or baby dad, or a person with a legal background, such as a felony, you got to choose one.
I think I would probably take the baby mom. And the reason why I would take the baby, I don't know. I'll get some pros and cons for both. The baby mama, your baby mama could be somebody who I don't want to deal with. They could be difficult. They could be somebody who don't want you to see the kid. It could be somebody that won't let you go, or somebody crazy. The felony is going to stop me from traveling, at least for a certain amount of time. It's going to be difficult for you to get the job that might help us out in this family. I don't know.
Okay, if I have to choose, like he said, ideally neither is the answer. But if I have to choose, just going off pros and cons, and considering the age I'm at now, if I was still in the dating game right now, I would take a baby mama. I would take a baby mama over a felony, because at the end of the day, at the age I'm at now, most men are probably going to have kids. Like, I'm not going to probably find somebody who doesn't have kids yet. You can, but probably not. Felony, nope. Like you said, I like to travel, and in certain places they can't go. Are they still on probation or parole? Because that's a factor too, because then they really can't do certain things. Mm-hmm. So and it depends on what the felony is too. Like, it really depends on what the felony is, and if I feel like you've maybe learned your lesson, because you might be dealing with a career criminal. Like, yeah, I got a felony, but I changed my whole life and I'm a whole different person. It's different from, I'm going to be back in there. Because like that lady on TikTok said the other day, you got 2 days. You got 2 days. If you ain't out of jail in 2 days, I'm out.
And some people don't go to jail, they go home. So that's the thing for me, is you going home when you go back. Because like you say, are you the person that's like, okay, I'm out, and then you're going back?
Right.
Or are you the person that's rehabilitated? And what for me, drug dealing is a no. That's my hard no. Judge your mother. That for me, because I feel like it pumps things, it kills our community. It's negative, and for financial gain, I don't have the respect. Mm-hmm. Sex offending is a no. Mm-hmm. So that's another one of my hard no's. It depends on what it's for.
Got you. Sex offenses are definitely a no, because my address now about to be public. It's somebody dealing with that right now, a celebrity, and her address has to be public because her husband is a registered sex offender. I ain't got time for that. Everybody ain't gonna know where I live.
And as far as I know, we carry license. I don't even know that go. I think that goes against our ethical.
Right. I don't think we can be with a felon.
We might want to. No, I'm talking about a sex offender.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
yeah.
I don't even think that that's even
possible.
Possible. A felony, I don't know, but sex offender, I think that's a hard no.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I don't care too much about the question. Like, I guess it's a lot of what Shug was saying, is that it depends on the situation. It depends on the charge. It depends on the person. Same thing with baby mamas and baby daddies. I mean, it just depends. There are a whole lot of factors that go into that. Like, you could someone could have a felony for a pretty serious charge, but be a wonderful person. They could have been in the wrong place at the wrong time, did something, while they were under the influence, or just in a really bad space in their life. And you can't take that and judge them, or like place that on them as if their felony is like who they are. But again, when it comes to society and how they treat felons, it's difficult to be in a relationship with someone who has a felony, because like y'all are saying, they can't get a job. How are you going to support me? How are you going to support our kids if we have them? They can't go certain places. I mean, granted, they can go some places. So the places they can't go, I'm gonna just go by myself. Baby mamas though.
Amber said deuces on the couple trip.
Hey, look, it wasn't my fault you got a felony. I mean, I don't have nothing against people that have felonies. If I'm gonna be with you, you can't be salty. If I want to travel and go to Dubai or Egypt or something and explore the world, you made that choice, or you got into that situation, and I'm not gonna say I would not be with someone because of that.
But that puts contention in your relationship.
That's what?
That puts contention in your relationship, where you're just like, oh, well, I'm going without you. Sorry, ain't my fault you did that.
I mean, I still do that now, though. Like, if I want to go somewhere and my husband doesn't want to go, or he's got to work and he can't go, I'm going to be like, all right, well, I'm going. It's not my fault that you have that job and you can't take off. And we can go together later whenever you can take off, or whenever your felony charge has been dropped, or, it's enough time. I don't know.
I gotta feel you on that, Amber. Your restrictions are not my restrictions. It ain't my fault that you have restrictions. That's not on me.
But okay. When y'all say that, is that a conversation that y'all having in the beginning? Because I believe somebody who's a felon would feel a certain type of way if they get far in the relationship and then something comes up where, a couple's trip or just a trip you're invited on, and you're like, oh, well, you're a felon, so you can't go. Yes, so I'm going to go without you. So would y'all have that conversation in the beginning, or would it be something that just comes up in the moment?
Well, when is he gonna tell me he a felon? Like,
I was about to say that. I was about to say, I'm gonna be petty, because if you gonna wait until we 3 to 6 months in and tell me you got a felony, then I'm gonna wait. Like,
okay.
Like, is this the first or second date question? Like, tell me about yourself. You ever been to prison? Like, when is this coming up?
Okay, but when do you have that conversation?
True. When do you?
Whenever you find out that they have a felony charge.
But like,
I tell you that.
As the felon, because the felon may automatically assume they're going to be judged. And I'm only saying that because I'm having personal experience with someone right now who is a felon, and I did not know that. Now I knew this person 20 years ago, but they wasn't a felon 20 years ago. Not that I knew of. But now that this person is trying to re-enter my life, they came out and said that, and I was like, what? What you said? What about now?
But then even as yeah, go ahead. No,
go ahead.
No, I'm asking a question after you do.
So that now, granted, this is very new, so it's not like this is 6 months in and I'm finding out. No, that person was kind of honest from the beginning as to what was going on. So, but in my mind, I do have those questions about, okay, well, what if I'm trying to travel with you? What you doing? Like, how are we doing this? And don't get me wrong, as therapists, I think we ask those investigative interview questions. But for those that aren't thinking about asking those questions at first, would you recommend them asking those questions?
Yes. My rule of thumb, if you are dating, every important question should be asked before you have sex with this person. Sex is intimate. Once you get to the point of having sex, you should know everything that you need to know. So have that conversation. Hey, if you a type of person, the chemistry was there and I was just feeling it and we slept together on the third date, then by the third date, you should have asked some important questions because the chemistry was strong enough for you to ask some in-depth questions.
Okay.
I mean, that's ideal, but like, is that realistic? Oh, sorry, Suge, I know you got a question.
No, you go ahead.
No,
I'm feeding off of you on that one because I was next.
Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah, it's ideal that you know everything about the person and you've asked all these questions, but I don't think that's realistic. I don't think that. I think a lot of people don't know a lot of things about the people that they have sex with, and like even whether you ask the questions or not, you're gonna miss something. Like you're not gonna be able to ask every question to get this a picture of this person completely because you're asking the questions. Have you ever been in a situation where like you ask a certain question and somebody answers it, you find out something later, and you like, I asked you about that. No, you didn't. You asked me this. And that ain't the same
You ever
thing.
been in a situation where people be lying?
And they be lying.
Now that you can't control.
You know what I mean? Because some people just want to have sex with you.
Right.
And some people are like, "Oh, I'm free," and they give it up on day 3, and then later on they find out whatever have you later on down the road. You find out about baby mama. I know somebody who got about 9 baby mamas, and this girl thought he had like 2, and he just omitted information because then if you omit it, it's not a lie.
Yes, it
But
helps.
then now I'm in love with you 3, 4, 6, 7 months later on, and now the picture is confounded because I done already did it. All my serotonin levels all the way up here, and we there. And then now I'm stuck like buck.
Okay, you cannot control being lied to. You can't control somebody omitting information or lying to you. You have no control over that. Especially if you ask the question and then they be like, "Oh, well, you didn't ask this. You asked this." You can't control that. But now you have to consider if you done got that deep in it and they did lie to you. So now you're gonna remain with somebody that deceived you on purpose. That's a whole nother question. But my thing is, you if you are casually dating or casually having sex, you don't have to ask these questions because you're not looking for nothing serious. But if you know I am dating to get into a monogamous relationship, no, these questions need to be asked. You know the difference. We know when we just want to have fun and when we trying to really be serious. So if you know you're trying to be serious with this person, you need to ask those questions for real.
But everybody don't know what questions to ask. I'm just like everybody
You
don't
said-
know.
You said that everybody don't know what questions to ask. Well, I think that this is a good opportunity to put out some questions for people to ask. What would you ask?
I'm asking if you have children, how many children, how many baby mamas, have you ever been to prison? Have you ever sold drugs? Have you ever been accused of something that you didn't do? What's your family life like? What was your mama like? You got a relationship with your daddy? Like, I'm asking those questions.
Damn.
I'm asking them.
You how many dates? You're asking this on the first date?
Maybe not the first.
Not the first date, but if we
Okay, I
on
was
date,
about to
if we
say,
on date 3, I like you enough. Cause see, if I didn't like you after date 1, we ain't having a date 2. Date 1 is like tester. Date 2 is all right. Date 1 was cool. Date 3 is all right. What we doing?
okay, so my suggestion is realistically to spread the questions out over time.
You got
And find the right time to ask certain questions because you don't always want to just straight up grill this person. Some people are okay with being grilled and they're going to answer the questions because they have the same questions for you. Some people are going to be like, nah, she tripping and leave. And that doesn't mean that they're not interested. It just means you're doing too much. I'd spread the questions out. Definitely ask about family life. Another thing to ask about is just like their perspective and their worldview about certain things. Politics, because that can become a thing in relationships, religious beliefs, religious practices, just generally your beliefs about certain things in the world, about people too. Because like you don't want to date a man who has some delusion that all women are out to take all his money and want him to provide for him. So you want to know how the other person thinks about the other gender or about, people in general. Just those questions, but they can't it's not rehearsed. It's not something I can just pull out and say, oh, these are the questions you should ask. Because as you get to know someone, they'll share these things with you. And you got to just be a little, pick up on it. You pick up on it. As therapists, we probably pick up on a whole lot more than people who are not therapists.
Right.
But just keep your eyes open and everything else.
I'm always one of those people where I hold everything out until later on because I'm a person that don't like for you to be able to say you got the best of me, and so being like, I hit that. That's like saying you got the best of me. So I'm already holding out because I'm already suspicious of. First of all, I'm suspicious of everything and everybody. But that's my stuff. So I'm always like, I don't want them to be like, oh, I got the best of her or have something to say about me or be able to talk about me. So I'm always holding out. And I don't fire off questions like that. I want to see. I want to see how you look when you're mad. I want to see what your family like. Let me meet your family. Do I even like your personality? Because I get bored fast. And so it's also like, let me see where you come from. And so I think that stuff come over time. Than to be sitting at the table on the first day asking those questions. Because what if somebody was asking you all those questions?
I'm fine with it. Please ask me.
I'm getting annoyed. I'm be like, yo, I'm out.
But you know what though? Especially us
No.
three, Auntie Amber, Auntie Suge, and me. Amber and Suge, y'all are in a place where you are already partnered and you don't have this to worry about, and neither do I. But if I was dating right now at 37, I don't have time to wait for date 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That's a waste of time.
Why don't you have time? Wait a minute.
Too many people now in the dating world. People in the dating world now, especially as you get older, like say you a 37, 38-year-old woman, you single, you trying to find somebody and you still want to have kids. At the end of the day, we can't ignore the fact that that biological clock is ticking. You don't have time to beat around the bush with people. That's what I mean.
A lot of women,
a lot of single women and single men that are older are like, we don't have time to be BSing. Just let's lay it out there. See if we want this thing to happen.
They're not waiting. Now for me, I'm not interested in anybody serious. So for me, I don't care. If you got feelings, baby, they got nothing to do with me. I go to my own home and get out my face. I will call you when I need to call you for whatever need I need filled. Move on. But if I like a person, care about somebody, I am asking those questions right off the bat but people have different things that they value. I value time and money, and if my time is being wasted, I will immediately pick up and bounce. And that's just how I've always operated. Time is just something I can't ever get back. So why I gotta waste it with you? Why you ain't just tell me? Okay, let me have the choice to work through that or not. If you feel like you was gonna hold that off, then I feel like you was holding it off for a reason. Why you holding it off? Why you feel like you couldn't tell me? Now, I'm not pretty much a judgmental person. I try to keep it open, but like tell me up front so I know how to navigate. Yeah. Just let me know so I know how to move. But a lot of people take advantage of that when they don't tell you. And they put a blinder on you, and now you all in love, falling all in love, and then boom, they hit you with something. You're like, what? Yeah. Now you feel at a point where you're like, oh, should I stay or should I go? Well, from the beginning, if you're gonna tell me that, I need to figure out if I'm gonna invest my time or not. But that's just me because you can't play with my time. Play with my time on my minute.
I mean, I get it. I just feel like I think I don't even know if I'm gonna say what I'm thinking the right way, but like what Ashley was saying is, oh, I don't have time because I want to have kids at some point, and so a lot of people rush into these relationships because they want to have kids, and because they didn't take the time, the blinders are on. They didn't get to know. So you're rushing into this, asking all these questions from the start. This person's probably like, what the hell? Okay, I'm gonna just answer them, giving you bullshit answers and some a little bit of real. But when you're rushing the relationship, you're not like time. It takes time naturally to get to know someone, no matter how many questions you ask or not.
I agree.
You cannot get to know someone within 3 months and be like, I know everything about you because I've asked all these questions and I've spent 3 months with you. Hell no, it takes more than that. I'm still learning stuff about my husband now, 9 years later. So I don't think it's realistic to like say, okay, well, I'm going to ask all these questions so I know this person, so I know whether I'm wasting my time or not. You can spend 5 years with somebody and feel like you're, doing something and moving forward. And the second it's done, somebody's like, oh, I just wasted all my time. No, but you didn't. Because out of that 5 years, you learned what you wanted out of a relationship. You learned what you didn't. And you're going to take what you learned and put that into the next relationship. So it's not time wasted. So I think it also depends on how you define wasting time.
Okay, yeah, I think you make a good point, and I think you are right. I don't rush into relationships. I may want to take my time, or I may want to know up front what it is, but we don't have to put like you my boyfriend, you my girlfriend right off the bat. You don't have to. For me, like if a dude start talking about he loved me in 3 months, I'm gonna think something is wrong because you don't know me to love me. You don't know me. and I don't like that. But I would like to get to know you as a person. Like, at least make my time worth it to be here. Be honest, be open. Yeah, we could probably get to know all the other stuff, like the baby moms and all that other stuff later on and stuff like that. But you're right, Amber. I don't want to get in a relationship too fast, because then you got to get to know people. So
But
you're
does
right.
anybody know anybody really?
No.
Good
Me and
question.
Ava been married for 15 years, and I still learn stuff about him, about his family. I'm still learning stuff all the time.
Mhm.
I'm learning what I like. I'm learning some stuff. You know what? I thought I liked that. I don't like. In the beginning of a relationship, people send their representatives.
They do.
Yep.
They always send that person to speak for them.
Mhm.
I think if you gotta wait 90 days for a job to say, we want to keep her or we don't, that person that should at least have to wait 90 days to have access to all of you. And people don't take the time to do that.